Hello, everyone, and welcome to Get Better, a show about two longtime friends trying their best, growing up, and hopefully getting better. I'm Zach Johnson.
And I'm Sam Cherry. Now, Zach, you were telling me that earlier, for legal reasons, you found a PS2 that plugs in, I think, via USB drive into your computer.
Yes.
You found one of those USB computers.
Yeah, I found one of those. It's just you instead of plugging it into, you have to plug it into a power source, but the other one just goes right into a USB, and then you can just play it regular on your
computer.
On your MacBook. But it's interesting because it's so small,
MacBook?
it just pops right into the system. You don't need to even have the PS2 at all. But yeah,
it's just on the computer. It's like a thumb drive that you plug it in, and then and
it just kind of morphs into the computer. Yeah. So I was working on one of those, and for legal reasons, like this is all parody, and it doesn't really exist. But if
you're doing a character who has a PS2 on your computer.
Yes. If in the case that I was doing that, I would be. Like, I'm very excited to have one of those fake things because all I want in the whole wide world is to play Sly Cooper 2. I feel like there is absolutely no chance that I have not already talked about this because of how often I think about playing Sly Cooper 2.
Well, here's the thing. This is the only time that we talk, except for, well, no, actually we text a lot, so never mind. But, I remember you talking about Sly Cooper, which makes me believe that you've talked about it on the show.
Therefore, yeah, so...
Which is fine. I'd reiterate,
Yeah. So I, all I want in the whole wide world is just to play Sly Cooper 2. And because of this...
A scoop in time.
Yes, a scoop in time. And because of this, it would lead me down a path of living 'neath the law, if I was, which I'm not. But if I was to live 'neath the law, it would solely be because I'm trying so desperately to play Sly Cooper 2.
Yeah.
And
they forced your hand.
They forced my hand. Exactly. So what am I supposed to do? Like, you would not
Sly Cooper 2?
You would not accuse someone of stealing if they're using it to feed their hungry family. Right. In the same way, you would not accuse me of stealing some sort of PlayStation software if I was trying to play Sly Cooper 2 Band of Thieves.
You're Jean Valjean, basically.
I'm Jean Valjean, and I am...
Would you download a car?
There is going to... I wouldn't.
Sure.
Yeah, maybe.
If the original car was still there and I just got a free car...
Exactly.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah. What's there? Yeah, it is a victimless crime. We both get cars. The only one who loses is...
Toyota?
I don't even know what kind of car I could possibly download. I feel like the only car I could download is like a Ranger or something, like just a clunky ass truck. But
whoa, wait a minute. A Ford Ranger? Ford Rangers are the best vehicles ever made. I will hear nothing bad about Ford Rangers.
I really did not know that this was going to be such a hot button issue. I mean, I love a good Danger Ranger, and if I could download a Danger Ranger, 100%, I would be all over that.
When you said that, I assumed you meant like a Rove Ranger, which whatever. Ford Ranger is the best truck ever made.
I've been looking to expand my world into truck world. So I just paid off my car because I'm a responsible adult, and time just sort of happens at me, and I don't have a choice. But because I've paid off my car, now the only choice is like, all right, how's capitalism going to get me this next time? How am I going? What car am I? Yeah, they're going to get me, and I'm going to have to buy a second car just because.
Get a truck.
Yeah, get a truck. Exactly.
Let me pitch you on the Ford Ranger for 1 second.
Okay.
Because.
Sold.
It's a great truck. And I love trucks, and I think they're very cool. I'll put my cards on the table. I'm a little biased. I grew up with my dad having a Ford Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I like them for nostalgic reasons. But number 2, see all these fucking guys who have got enough horsepower to reunite South America and Africa. You know what I'm saying? They have the most powerful trucks in the world, these huge tires, and what are they fucking doing? They're going to Trader Joe's like the rest of us. You know what I'm saying? They're just fucking drive. They're not once a year they put some 2x4s so they can pretend to know how to build a deck. That's what they do. So it's the amount of space you take up, gas you're going to use for the limited number of times that you're actually hauling with that. My dad, he had the Ranger, right? Some teenagers stole it and drove it into a lake. I think I've told that story. Anyway.
I actually don't know if you have. I feel like you have a lot of moments of stealing into a lake, like going off into a lake. You know what I'm saying?
Did I have a second story about stealing into a lake?
Well, not necessarily. I don't think you've had the one of it going off into a lake, but I was thinking of the moped specifically. Okay.
Well, I think I told it when I told that story, so I'll give a short version. But basically, I lived in a very safe neighborhood. I mean, I lived in a fine neighborhood, but there's kids, fucking teenagers. You know how it is. So if you didn't lock your car, kids would probably break into your car and they'd steal your shit. Whatever, no big deal. I have 100% told this story. I'm gonna rush right through it. So sometimes, over the years, like my mom would forget to lock her car and like all her CDs would be gone. It's just like, fucking whatever. What's the big deal? Well, one time my dad forgot to lock his car and he left the keys in the car. Which I've never met another human being that does that, but he does. He doesn't anymore, but he's playing
5G chess over here. Because I leave my car unlocked, and I say it is because I am going to not have the risk of my windows being broken into, but it's actually because I'm lazy.
Yeah, good thing no one knows what your car is anymore. Because do you remember that time on the podcast that you explained how to break into your car?
Yeah, the make and model of my car. Yeah,
and then explained how easy it was and exactly how to break into your car.
Yeah,
and then you explained where you lived. It was fucking wild, Zach.
Yeah, that car was the absolute shit.
Which one was that?
That was the 2005 Suzuki Forenza, playfully nicknamed the Suzuki Forenzone.
Right, because I knew the Cougar when we were in college.
The 1995 Ford America Cougar. That thing was, that thing truly was. It is of my best interest.
Doors, dude.
That heavy doors. If you're not strong, you can't hold those doors. That's what I'm saying.
Strong, man. They're
you
really
cannot,
heavy.
You for real cannot hold those doors. I've said it before. I'll say it again. But yeah, no, because I think it is in everyone's best interest to have an absolute piece of junk car. For the purpose of it being, that car was like my Millennium Falcon. Like it was an absolute piece of shit, but it was like my piece of shit. And it was never stolen, nor did anything apart from me crashing into that tow truck.
I don't know that story. When was that?
That happened it was while I was doing my student teaching. So while you weren't around, I don't imagine, but, yeah, so I was doing that. I crashed into a tow truck.
That's convenient.
It was a Southside towing tow truck. So that things got very out of hand very quickly.
Now wait, slow down. Are those the people who are? It's not across the tracks, but like,
it's next to Shady Rays, that pawn shop. So yeah.
Okay, but they're the ones. So my car broke. My first car, a different Toyota Camry. The tan colored one broke down when I was in college. When I was coming back, I was working for a client in Nashville, and I was driving back. Which is why I had to ride the Coke bike to work for like 6 months.
Yeah.
The fucking Coca-Cola branded dirt bike. It wasn't even a dirt bike. It was like a street bike. It was like, but you know what I'm talking about? It was like, of course.
In the off chance that you had to kick up some dirt.
It was like a BMX style bike for like a teen. And like, I'm not a big guy, so like kind of fit, but like still not really. It was like a fraternity. Anyway, a fraternity brother.
Man.
A fraternity brother won it in a raffle.
As is tradition.
What?
I said as is tradition.
Yes. Yeah, as is the way of our people. And he put it in the raffle as a joke, won this Coca-Cola bicycle, and it was in the basement. My Camry broke down. Anyway, I think Southside Towing are the people who towed it.
100%. So,
but anyway, so then I just had this Coca-Cola bicycle, and I had to go to work, and work was 5 miles away. It's a small town, but it was like on the other side of town. Mm-hmm. So I just had to ride this Coke bike every fucking day. Oh my gosh, yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but I absolutely full time crashed into this tow truck. And I've never said this story out loud before, so this is going to be from a place of
First
deep
draft.
regret. But in order to live a life of genuine, in order to live a genuine life, you have to live a vulnerable life. So I will, on the public record, say one of the biggest L's I ever took in my whole life, which was I crashed into this tow truck and two absolute fucking clowns got out. They weren't real clowns, but they were clowns.
That would have ruled.
That would have ruled. I crashed into them. My airbags go up into my grill, like in my face.
You really hit them.
Yeah, so I really hit them. My airbags went off. And I don't know if you ever had airbags go off on you, but it's like mostly dust. And so I get out of the car.
Maybe in the Cougar.
I get out of the car and I say something along the lines of like, yeehaw, oh boy, guys, we certainly crash into each other, huh?
You hit them from the back is what you're saying, right? They were stopped.
No. So here I'm going to try to, on an audio medium, explain what happened.
Our viewers are smart. They can figure it out.
So imagine, if you will, the Twilight Zone. Imagine, if you will, it's two cars going towards each other in a 2-lane road. Like I'm in the right-hand lane, and they are in the left-hand lane.
To be fair, everyone's always in the right-hand lane on a 2-lane road.
Yeah, well, we have some viewers in maybe India or
in
Europe.
You weren't in England, so cool.
So you weren't
Got
in England,
it. You're in Bowling Green.
So I was in Bowling Green, and they like tried to turn onto a side road, and in doing that, they pulled right in front of me across my lane, and so we had like a head-on sort of collision. Where I crashed right into them, my airbags went off, I popped out, and I was like, what's up, guys? Like, we crashed into each other, and it was your fault. So
obviously.
Yeah. So we're just going to be dealing with that, huh?
I know I just Mike Birbiglia'd your car, but
yeah. So I crashed into their car, and then these like two Letterkenny ass trailer park boys get out. And they're being like, oh, I'm so sorry, man. Like, how about we go over to this gas station here and we'll give it a look? And I go over and give the car a look.
Southside towing.
Yeah, I go over to the gas station. We give the car a look. And he's like, oh, man, I'm so sorry. But like, like you really roughed up your fender. Like, how about this? I'm going to take you to Southside Towing tomorrow. And then we're going to get it all fixed up. And I was like, oh, we should file a police report. And they were like, oh, ain't no need for that. And then I should have 100% taken that as aren't you guys that secretly run a child sex ring allegedly, but probably most definitely because a lot of you have been arrested for that. Anyway.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's a whole other Bowling Green thing, but we'll not get into that right now.
We must get into that.
Okay. I need to give the audience the full details to why these guys suck. And it's
I want you to tell a story
because of the thing that they've done, but also the thing they've done to me. So it's like, who's the real victim? It's them.
Probably the sex.
It's definitely them. I'm fine and in good health. So anyway, the Cougar is invincible. So all that really happened was I busted out my front light, they convinced me because I was like 19. Or 20, whatever, however old I was.
You were not 19.
Yeah, however old I was.
You were student teaching. You were 22.
Yeah, I was. It was last weekend. They convinced me to not call the police, and they're like, come by Southside Towing tomorrow at this time.
Right.
I roll by there, and I was like, hey, I talked to these guys, and they said that I should come by today. And the secretary was like, oh, that never happened. And I was like,
yep.
What? And they were like, yeah, that never happened. And then I like called them back, and I got a hold of the boss, the main guy, and he was like, oh yeah, weren't you that guy that was drunk and crashed into my two workers? And I was like, no. And then he was like, oh, well, I heard that you were super drunk and you crashed into us, and we let you off because we're cool. And he was like, so we're good, right? Like in a threatening tone, and
my mouth is agape.
And then I've
met that guy. He can do a threatening tone.
I called the police.
Yeah,
I filed a report, and then I was like, da da da. I told him everything that happened, and he was like, when did this happen? I was like, last night, and he was like, eef.
You should have filed a report then, bud.
Man. He was like, so here's the thing. They're claiming that you were drunk. There would be no more alcohol in your system. So it's their word against yours, and there's two of them and one of you.
Oh, right.
And
Yeah. The majority vote on this sort of thing.
And I was like, and he said, and I know it's Southside Towing, so I know you're telling the truth, but I can't tell you that officially. And I was like, oh no. So I had to, at that choice, I had to make the call to not go to court over this stupid ass thing, because they definitely have lawyers and what have you. And I'm just a kid, a 22-year-old kid.
22-year-old kid.
But like, you know, I'm not gonna go.
No, totally.
I'm not gonna go up in Southside Towing. So I got my I got the front part of the Cougar fixed, and the turn signals weren't working, and so my mom made me give it away.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah. So it makes sense, but it was like the end of the Cougar was like, because, well, the Cougar, to the credit of the Cougar, it was like, hey, I got one last solid for you, my man.
But like, take a big ol' L.
Yeah, take a big ol' L so that you don't have to die out here in these streets. Like, I got you.
I'm telling you, I'm like halfway through The Sopranos right now, and I feel like you made the right choice, because you would have fucked right up if you had gone to court. Like,
100%. Like, and the dude was like, so, because I ended up at another point in time, like, I knew kind of who the guy was that I was talking to, the owner guy, because in Bowling Green, I think every single town has like the business that is like, oh, you cats are like shady as hell. Like, you guys are bad dudes. And in Bowling Green, Southside Towing was like, they were the absolute worst guys. And so because of that, I decided not to go to court with them, because obviously not. Like, I'm not going to mess up my whole existence just to go to court with these like actual real-time criminals.
This is not the place that I went. I don't know where I went. They were also kind of shady, but this is I'm looking at it on Google Maps. Southside Towing is a different place. I don't know where I went. It's not really important. That sucks.
Yeah, man, it was the absolute worst. And back to to kind of circle back around somehow is these dudes were like super infamous in town because
tell me about the fucking the QAnon Pizzagate of Bowling Green.
There was a rumor in town that was being heavily substantiated by like different members of people that had connections to Southside Towing, like transporting stolen, like kidnapped people, or like people that were like young and in the sex trade industry, like using their tow trucks, or like,
I don't think that exactly is being in the sex industry if you're being trafficked. I don't think that's exactly the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't really know the nuances of it, because all of it is like, so what, and I think maybe like possibly from like what I remember, it was just like some people that were high in connection were connected to it. And so because of that, everyone just kind of assumed that they were the type that would do this, in that they were just the shadiest dudes in town. Because I think like you have to be kind of have to be the muscle to be in that whole world. So I just think that
not guys you really want to fuck with for offender.
No, they're definitely not. They're definitely not ones to be fucked with. Because
again, about every episode of The Sopranos, I just think like, guys, don't do it. You're just a regular Joe.
I don't know. Like they're the equivalent. I don't know what The Sopranos did. I don't know, worked in sanitation or what have you.
Yeah. They're in waste management.
Yeah, waste management. It's like, the whole town knows. It's like, you guys don't do waste management. Or I guess you do. I mean, you'd have to do at least some sort of waste management in order to have it be a front. You can't just.
But if you're also like selling coke on your trucking routes, like
yeah. But yeah, they're the type of cats that one time my friend got towed because, and actually I got towed from there too. My friend got towed from parking in the wrong parking lot, and they hitched her car up to like the tow truck thing, and then they were like, "Well, you could get it from the store, you could get it from the shop, but how about this? If you give me $100 cash right now, I'll see what I can do." And it was like $100 cash.
For a college student is $1 million.
No, yeah, but also it's like, no, we live in the now times. Like I don't have like a red cent, let alone like $100.
Oh wait, this just happened?
No, I mean this happened. This happened while I was in college.
Which friend?
And the other time it happened, it was the exact same situation where they actually got my car to the lot, and then my friend and I went there, and it was the exact same situation. It was just like this one person in the place all by themselves, and it was like, "Hey, tell you what, I'll unlock the gate if you give me $100 cash."
Who was your friend who got towed?
It was her name is. She was she lived with some of my. She like is.
I'll
from,
bleep it out, but like I don't know who you're talking about.
It's. I don't know if you ever met her. She.
Oh, okay, yeah. I kind of remember her.
Yeah. So it was her, and she got towed. But like every single person in that town has a story with that. I have no idea how we even got onto this tangent.
It was me trying to pitch you getting a Ranger.
Right.
Because what I'm saying is that like
you can't tow a Ranger.
Well, you can, but like okay, 3 times a year. If you have a garden, you're gonna need to go get mulch. If you're gonna build something, you're gonna need to go to Home Depot. And if you're gonna move, you need to move a mattress. You're gonna use a truck, right?
Yes, but in using a truck, you also are the person that has a truck, you know?
Fair, but what I'm saying is those are the things you're going to use your truck for. You're not going to be pulling like the USS Maine out of the Hudson Bay. Like you don't need that much. You don't need that much towing power. You don't. You specifically don't need it. Maybe somebody blah, 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 blah. But like in those commercials, they're literally like, ripping the world out of Atlas's hands, and it's like, yeah, I actually don't need to do that. So
yeah, as it turns out,
probably good. But a Ford Ranger is a good truck. You can haul a mattress, which is mostly what you're going to be using it for anyway, or dirt. And you use it a couple times a year, but it's super helpful when you need it. Because if you've got a fucking Cougar or a Toyota Camry, what the hell are you gonna do? And it's like, oh well, I want to. I mean, you can buy bags of dirt, whatever. Fuck it, you'll figure it out, but. I'm saying if you want to go, so my dad, he would always go to this horse farm and shovel manure, not for like his job, but like for the
just for the garden every year. Just for the joy.
Kinda. I mean, it's for the garden, but anyway. So yeah, so he'd go to this horse farm and he knew the guy and had whatever, and the guy was just like, you come shovel shit, I don't care. I don't actually ever recall him shoveling shit, so I don't know if he was just buying manure from these people, but anyway, he'd show up with a truck bed full of manure. And, it was like, that was super useful that year. Or if you got to tow a boat, you can tow a boat with a Ford Ranger.
That's
true. You don't need a fucking F-350 to tow a boat.
That's the thing is I think I would get a truck for the sole purpose of just one. Yeah, okay, here you go. You get a truck, right? You go to a gas station and you get one of those gas station blankets that is probably appropriating of Native American culture. You put that on your back on like in the cab. So people know you're adventurous. And then you just buy a kayak and then you're just kayak guy now. Like, and I think that is a lifestyle. Once you have a kayak, it's just like, you just drive to the lake.
Kayaking. The lifestyle is being kayak guy.
Yeah.
Like, who gives a fuck about kayaking? You just want to be the kayak guy that everybody knows, like, oh, he's kayak guy.
He's kayak guy. Yeah, and I think that I have at several points been like, there's no chance I can fit this in my 2006 Suzuki Forenza. Like, there's nothing I can do, and I'm not gonna buy a mount or whatever for this because then I'm in a Suzuki Forenza with a kayak on the top. Like those things. Yeah, that doesn't match at all. Like I have to have a Ford Ranger. I have to have a Danger Ranger.
Cool ass car. Anyway, I'm saying you get all the benefits of a truck, but you can fit in normal ass parking spots. Mm-hmm. And you don't. I know that like I'm sure there are people who think those big trucks look cool. And again, if someone's giving one away, yeah, I'd fucking take it. But sometimes you see, you're trying to get through a parking lot and this dude's like taking up a lane and a half, and it's like. You look like a fucking dork. It's like those guys. You ever see those pictures online where it's like some dude and he's at like Panera Bread and he's got like 3 guns holstered? It's like, hey dude, you look like a dork. Like I understand that you think this looks really cool, but like you're not gonna get in a John Wick shootout in this Panera Bread, so maybe chill. The same with the giant ass truck. Like what is this for? Like you look like a dork.
I think I told you about this that as everyone knows, I work at a coffee shop, and at this coffee shop, this has not happened in forever. But so what'll happen on occasion is someone will come in like with a gun, like, and they'll have their shirt tucked in because
Not
why?
like you mean like concealed carry, not like
Yeah.
with a gun.
No, well, like they come in and they have their gun and they're I think they're just waiting for someone to ask about it.
Of course,
And
absolutely.
yeah. So there was this one time a guy came in and he had a shirt tucked in. His shirt said "Fuck your gun free zone," which is just a cool shirt to have.
Also, a thing that I've never heard of outside of like federal buildings.
Exactly.
That's like the safe space of the Second Amendment. Like some
Yeah,
made up
yeah.
shit that doesn't exist that you're mad about.
Yeah. So so he had this thing, and he had two holsters. He had two guns, and he had two guns with two extended magazines
Oh my god.
on the holsters as well. It's like, brother, what kind of day are you trying to have?
Like, he's the guy that actually believes in Antifa super soldiers. Like, he is that guy who's like, yeah, they're gonna come in their mech suits and fucking try to
it was just
take my
like
daughter or something.
Yeah, it was just
What
like
a dork.
Yeah, it was so very strange in that it was just like, yeah, he came in, had that shirt on, and he looked like a dork. Like, he looked like a guy that, like, he didn't look like an army guy because, an army guy wouldn't do shit like that, or
it's a LARP for sure. He's he's role playing as army guy.
As army guy.
He's a love the cops guy. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where he's one of those guys who just like every football game for his kid who's like on the football team, he like goes up to the officer and it's just like, see anything?
See anything?
I got my eyes open, I'll let you know. It's like, and the cops is like, fuck you, dude. Like, please go away. This is a high school football game. It's not Fallujah. Like, fucking chill.
Yeah. Gets onto a plane and immediately is trying to assess, like, who is
He's trying to, number one, see who the marshal is.
Marshal.
And number two, try to convince everyone that he is the air marshal. Like,
yeah, it is like, but, so I think that we fucked up his whole life because no one asked about it.
Because that's the whole thing is they want.
Yeah, no one was like, whoa, like, hey, man, like, not in here, like, not in, like, and it was just like, every single person just kind of looked about him and was just like, cool, a door. Like, I'm not gonna bully this guy.
I don't care.
Like, I'm not just gonna like walk up and be like, hey, man, you seem like really unhinged, and I know that this is probably like what you're looking for, so I don't want to give it. I don't want to give this to you.
Well, the other thing is, guns are cool. Like, I don't care, dude. That's fine. Like, yeah, guns are cool. Shooting guns is fun. I don't know why you're making this like a big thing that you're oh, I've got two guns and in mag. It's like, yeah, guns are cool. Who cares? Yeah.
So whack.
Shooting guns is fun. I don't know what your big deal. Like, so what? Who cares? Chill out.
Speaking of guns are cool, I have a quick recommendation station.
Okay.
So this quick recommendation station comes by way of my girlfriend and I recently, as recent as yesterday even, we got online tickets to the Sundance Award winners. And there was a lot of really great movies. I mean, you'd think, if you're a Sundance Award winner, you have to be pretty good. And they were really great. Great. There's just a lot of great movies. So I'm going to say the ones that I saw. And if they pop up on any streaming service coming up soon, definitely check them out. The one that made me think that guns are cool, there is one called On the Count of Three. It is a movie where two friends enter into a suicide pact together. And it is pretty dark. It's pretty difficult to watch. But one of the characters slowly falls in love with guns over the course of the entire movie, and it's very funny. It is definitely a dark comedy. But when it's a movie about two best friends that are trying to commit suicide together, you know that by the end of it, they will have discovered something meaningful. So it's one of those where it's like,
died in a hilarious fashion.
Or died in a hilarious fashion. It's one of those two. So that one is definitely thumbs up there. Another one that I think is very great. It's another fiction piece. It is called CODA, CODA, and it is stands for Children of Deaf Adults. It is a movie following this girl who is the only member of her family that can hear. The rest of her family are deaf, and so they speak through sign language. The movie employs actors that are all they're all deaf.
It's fiction.
And, so this is like a fiction piece. And it's a story where it follows this girl as she falls in love with music and how she has to convince her family that it's something worthwhile because they don't really see the point of it because they're trying to run their family small business.
And they can't hear, so
they definitely need her to interpret for them. And
I was going to say, like, obviously they would not, even if conceptually they understand music, like they would not have the same guttural emotional response to music because they've never like heard it. Like it's like a blind person with like a sunset. Like I can understand that that's beautiful, but like I've never experienced it, so I mean
So a lot of I think the thing that's a lot that is very, very good about it is it talks through like how much do you give away to your family and how much like when your family needs you and like the family quite literally needs her because she's the only person they know that can interpret for them. So it's like, how much are you willing to let go of your dreams for the purpose of helping your family? And it is, and how much are you as a parent willing to let your daughter go for the purpose of like something that she thinks she needs? So
that's cool.
It is very, very good. It is a super big time tearjerker. Lots of sad things, but definitely it's the one that won in fiction. It won the grand jury as well as the audience award. So
that's like the big award, right?
Those are the two big awards. Yeah, those are the two big awards. So thumbs up to those. Another one, we watched some documentaries. One documentary is called Riding with Fire. It takes place in India where there is a team of all female news reporters and they just go around
and they learn
India.
How to skateboard.
Very similar to that one though, but it's these all female reporters and they report on stories in India because like the way the caste system is set up in India is you can only have a job of reporting if you were already in a pretty high caste so that you have the time and the money to be reporting on things. So the news is actually treated very biasly towards like people that are in power because it's the people that are in power that are writing it.
How is that different from what our system is?
Exactly. So it is these women that are writing news stories and the news stories they're writing, because when we first started watching it, we thought they were going to be news stories that were just for women, like talking about like rape allegations or like the problems with the police or like the problems with the caste system. But they are out here like doing real-time news and they are all so inspiring. Everything they do. Other real-time news.
Helping you out. Just helping to clarify what you were saying. Of course what you meant was other real-time news. Yes.
But I think that when like the way that it was pitched, it just seems like they were just going to be doing like stories that were only intrinsic to them and their experiences.
Stories about women.
Yeah, but they're like shaking down like mafia members and like going to all of these like sites of where like real like super big time like political sabotage is happening and they are just like on the ground floor every single time. It is the wildest thing. And every single time they ask questions, most of the people they're interviewing are like, who are you? Like, who let you in here?
Yeah, like turns out the caste system, no matter what caste you are, you can ask questions and be smart. And it's funny so actually, I can just do this job.
The rest of them have like real time. They have like cameras and they have like recording equipment, and they just have phones. Like they're just holding their like iPhones at them, but they're just like hitting them with these like the hardest questions in the world, and it's just so funny because they're just like, what is happening?
Now, if the listeners wanted to watch any of these films and any more that you're going to recommend, because they do sound very good. Is there any way that they could do that? Or so also?
Yeah, so the thing that I was saying there was like, I know that the ones that we watched were the award-winning ones. So the ones that are most likely to be picked up by another service.
Yeah.
Because when you make them independently, you have to wait for someone to platform it. So,
that's what Sundance is basically
Yeah.
for.
Yeah. So previously, other like Netflix as well as like Hulu and Amazon, they are the ones that have been platforming these things. You may like it may just go to a service where you have to like purchase it outright.
Quibi might pick it up.
Yeah. But I would say the ones that I've recommended so far, them being the ones that have won the most awards, the ones that are the most recognized by the jury and the community, are the ones that are going to, when they go to auction, they're going to do just fine. They're going to
So we can't see them now, but probably all these movies will get bought. So like, keep your head up.
Yeah. So yeah,
it's probably gonna be available.
Yeah. So I said at the beginning was just like, I'm saying this to you now, so that I'm putting an earworm in, so that when you do hear, like when you hear, they're like, oh, good. Zach on that podcast, he told me to watch these because
those dorks I listened to told me that this was good.
I did it for you guys. I didn't want to watch those Sundance movies, but I did it for you guys.
Those great movies you cried through. You didn't want to have that experience.
I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be inspired, but damn it, I did it for you.
You didn't want to have several intelligent, artful, conversations with your girlfriend about your feelings and how it really made you think.
No.
But you did it for the.
I did it for you. Support me on Patreon.
Support me on Patreon. God, we got to do that one of these days, huh?
Yeah. And so I can just get enough money to because the Sundance tickets, they were like super cheap, so it would like it was like a no brainer. Let's think, but yeah, those are the movies I would recommend. The rest of them that we watched were shorts, and the shorts were. Oh wait, no, there was a really really good one. There's the final one that I'll say is this one is definitely getting picked up because the director is Questlove, famously of The Roots, famously of Jimmy Fallon's house band, and the Questlove made this documentary called Summer of Soul, or The Year the Revolution Could Not Be Televised, and
1968.
9, very close.
9, damn it, I knew it.
Yeah.
I fucking knew it because it's the Summer of Love. Oh, you just said it. The Summer of Love, and then it's like, oh, what was the Summer of Love? It's like, black people protesting, not really just these white kids getting high.
Well, yeah, it was the summer of the reason why it's called the Summer of Soul was because it was this giant music festival that happened in Harlem the same summer that Woodstock happened.
Right.
And in this concert, you have Sly and the Family Stone, you have Nina Simone, you have Stevie Wonder, you have The Temptations, you have The Fifth Element, you have all of these amazing black artists gathered together in Harlem. And the reason why that we haven't heard about this is because this concert was filmed, mastered, and then tried to be sold. And in 1969, everyone was like, no one cares about that. And so the footage for it, hours and hours and hours of footage, just sat in a basement for 40 years because no one cared about it. And Questlove got his hands on it somehow and edited it together in this documentary where you see like scenes of the artist performing as well as like giving the viewer kind of context as to why this was so important. And so it's incredible. That one's definitely getting picked up.
Oh, the revolution will not be televised. I see. Because
yes.
Oh, well, also there were lots of protests that summer.
Yeah.
But yes. Okay.
But
yes.
It's incredible. It is so much fun, but it's also, there's like this moment where it's like, as they're explaining what happened to it, they're interviewing a lot of people that were there, as well as like other like black activists and influencers. And they're just like, wow, are you surprised that no one's ever seen this? And they were like, no, like this just like,
no, we lived in that time. We're really actually not surprised at all.
It's like, yeah, no, there was a lot of cool shit happening that you'll never hear about because that's just the nature of how things are sustained. Like if you ever think of like, what are the things that you think of when you think of each decade? And it was like, I bet you don't think of something black happening. And it was like, there is a reason for that.
That's true.
It was incredible poignant. There was actually this really, really cool moment where at one of the concerts, because it was a concert series that happened over the course of the whole summer. So it happened over the course of several weekends.
Yeah.
There's this one where it was during the summer of 69. That's when the moon landing happened. Yeah. And they show
even Stevens wrote a whole song about it.
Yeah. They show the moon landing, and it is like it cuts all these like white older people being like, wow, this is the most important thing that's ever happened. We'll never do better than this as society, da 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 da. And
might
they
be
cut
true.
and then they cut to people in Harlem and they're just like, why do I care about that? It's so funny because they're just like, yeah, I mean, that's cool. Like, I can't afford to live anywhere and gentrification is pushing me out of my home.
Right.
But yeah, cool. Thanks. Cool.
And don't worry, you're about to get to the 80s in New York where it gets much worse and all the buildings are on fire.
Yeah. So it's just like, it's like this,
not going to get better for you guys.
Yeah, these like collections of interviews where they're just like tight, like cool. Thanks, Neil. It's like, it's very, very funny to like kind of watch this like, like this juxtaposition of like two Americas dealing with like the same summer at different times. But yeah, no, definitely recommend it. Super duper great.
Cool.
That's my recommendation station. If you hear about any of those pieces, those are once again on the count of 3: Riding with Fire, Coda, Summer of Soul, or When the Revolution Could Not Be Televised. And
that's 4. You named all 4.
That's all 4. Yeah. So those are my pieces that I saw yesterday. Great stuff. Yeah.
Over the last couple weeks, my wife, who loves watching me play video games, which is a real gift. I've been playing through every single one of the God of War games, and turns out, real good video games. I thought they were going to be kind of stupid and just like you press X a lot. To be fair, you press X and like square and triangle. Like it's not
quite a bit. Yeah,
it's not fucking complicated, but there's a lot of puzzles. There's a lot of shit going on. I mean, fun ass game. Go figure.
Yeah,
so I've played through the first 2, and now I'm playing the third one. Literally, that's what I was doing before I got on the call.
Man, I need to just. I mean, I don't know if I need to get into the world of video games, but there's just a lot that I would really enjoy playing. I mean, I definitely like. I'm aware of the world. I know about
Sure.
The
it's like
Last
me and
of
comic
Us
books.
Part 2 and what have you.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think that. It was just a
Cyberpunk
world that
88 didn't work out or something.
yeah. I saw the news. But yeah, it's something that I just never really got around to. So
I think quarantine. When quarantine first happened, we bought all 3 Jak and Daxter games. I played through the first one.
Big hell yeah to that.
The other 2 are unbearably hard, and I did not want to play them because I was just like, I'm not fucking doing this anymore. Like the second one is unbelievably hard. And long, which is fine. I don't mind it being a long game, but it's so hard. And the third one is all driving, and they do not really succeed at driving controls, I don't think. So I was just like, I got through like 5 quests, and then I was like, oh, the whole game's just driving quests? No, I'm good. I pretty much don't want to do this anymore. We played a bunch of Spyro games. We beat Ripto's Rage, which was a lot of fun. Played Castlevania. You were there for that one.
Yeah, I definitely was. Yes.
So I got Skyrim, but I got it on the PS3, which turns out is the only bad version. They've made like 75 versions of Skyrim, but apparently the PS3 version is the one where it there's some kind of bug or there's something fucked up with it, where the load times are super long, which I can't attest to. They are super long. I just thought that was the game. Apparently, it's not like that in every other game. And once you get past a certain file size in your save file of like you've just played for a certain amount of time, because, it keeps all your items and skill levels and da-da-da. So as you save, no matter what's going on, the file gets bigger. Well, after you get a pretty moderate file size, the game just starts crashing. And the load times get longer and longer and longer. Well, I hit that point. The game started crashing, and I was like, all right, I guess I'm done. I guess I beat Skyrim. I got to the part of the game where it can't ever play again, so I guess I beat it as a game.
And
I played through, but I told my wife, I saw it on Steam, and I was like, oh, because now I have a PC. I was like, oh, well, I can get Skyrim on the computer. I'm going to spend $40 or whatever. Do you mind? And she was like, it's not the money. It's I don't want to lose my husband, so please don't play Skyrim on your computer. I'm like, fair enough.
Yeah, that's definitely, I think, an active concern that I would have if I ever got
World of Warcraft.
No, not World of Warcraft. I think mine is like, because there's so much world to explore. Mine is definitely Spider-Man on the PS5 or something like that. Like it would be curtains for me in my social life. I'd be like,
yeah, totally.
I would just be spending all my time inside being like, I am Spider-Man.
Well, you could just look at a map in New York. I think that probably is the same.
Yeah, that's true. But it's like it's like I don't even have to live in New York. So I can just, it's like,
it's cheaper than moving to New York.
Exactly.
For sure.
And then I get to be Spider-Man. I imagine that's pretty expensive as well.
Okay. And here's what's fucked up. I saw on Steam that Destiny 2 is free, which I was like, what do you mean free?
What's
I have no idea.
You click download and a fancy man in a hat and a briefcase knocks on your door and is just like, it's gonna like nothing's
I own you
free.
now. Like, oh, okay.
Like,
yeah, it's free in money terms.
And then asks like what your wish is. You're just
exactly.
Like, I don't know about you.
He hands me a monkey's paw and he's like, it's part of the DLC. So I think what it is that I don't actually know. There was DLC you could buy for money, but the base game was free, and I was like, this can't be right. Because I was gonna download Destiny because I was like, oh, I've heard a lot about Destiny. Why don't I just get that? I don't know why I wouldn't just jump to Destiny 2. I don't think there's much of a story. I honestly don't know. But I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll just get Destiny, play through that, then I'll play Destiny 2. And couldn't find Destiny on the store, although I didn't look that hard, because I got stopped at Destiny 2 is free.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that doesn't make sense to me. So I might start playing Destiny.
You're going to forget
Quarantine
all the...
has been my video game awakening, is what I'm saying. Because, like, what the fuck else am I going to do?
Yeah, well, that's what the fuck else we're going to do. We're going to go into our final segment for the episode, the one that Sam and I talked about privately, which is sports update.
Oh, I thought you were going to do the president one.
Oh, no, we have to dedicate a lot more time to that. Absolutely. But very quickly, we need to do a sports update. Sam has some things to say about... his favorite sport, and I have some things to say about my favorite sport. And I was just going to pop in here because Sam asked if we could do one, and I was like, yeah, sure, we can absolutely do one. And the unfortunate thing for me in my sports update is in my segment, I watch sports and so should you. I talked about the Brooklyn Nets and the 3 players that are complete clowns that are all now being forced to play together. We have Kevin Durant.
Brooklyn 3.
Yeah, the Brooklyn 3, we have Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden. Each of them has the funniest ego of all time, and they have to play together. And the problem with me and my story is they're doing really great. They are exceeding all expectations, which is no fun for me because I want them to collapse in on themselves like a dying star. Sure. But here we are. They are 14-9. They're currently second in the league. So... do with that what you will. They're doing amazing.
Yeah. So my boys, now to be fair,
I was wrong.
You were wrong, but that's okay. They're still fun. Are they fun to watch? Are their interviews fun?
They are extremely fun to watch.
There you go. It's something. The Preds are doing all right. Now there's like 68 games in the season, so we're gonna get a lot of updates. And because it's like a compressed season, they're playing 4 games a week, so it's a lot. There's a lot of hockey on right now, which is great for me. But as I mentioned before, it's not on cable. Now, as keen-eared listeners will know, I already had COVID, and so I can't get it again for months. So I've been going to bars to watch it, and don't fucking at me. Because I don't care. But anyway, so I've been going to bars, watching the games, which is primo. Now, they're not doing phenomenal, but it's earlier in the season, right? So they have 10 points. The Stars, they are 6th in their division. Also, the divisions got all switched up this year because basically Canada, which usually is mixed in with the other divisions, is just its own division now. So because all the Canadian teams became the North Division, everyone else had to kind of switch around so that there's less movement, I guess, for containment. It's COVID related, but I don't fully understand it. So Canada's all one thing. And then they switched up the 3, or they made 3 divisions for America. So 6th in their division, but they have 10 points. The Stars have 11, Panthers and Hurricanes have 12, the Blue Jackets and the Lightning are very good. They have 13 points. So the good news is we beat the Blackhawks twice in a row, which was wonderful to watch.
Yeah, that is the big news.
They also have 10 points, which is not great, but we have beat them twice, which was great. And then the Red Wings are last. So, we're third to last, but again, it's only 9 teams. What are you gonna fucking do? So, doing all right, but we beat the Blackhawks, which is always fun. And I did get to watch that game, which was it was a great time. Because I was gonna go, so I was going, and I texted my buddy, and I was like, "Hey, do you want to go to the game?" He's like, "I'm busy," and so I was like, "Hey, so I'm going to this place. I'm gonna go watch the game. You want to go?" She's like, "Yeah, I'll invite my sister." I said, "Okay." So then the 3 of us go. They talk the entire time, and they'd be like, "Hey, what do you?" I'm like, I gotta watch that. That story reflects poorly on me, so I'm gonna cut the whole thing.
Okay.
Kind of sound like an asshole in that story. Anyway, beat the Blackhawks. Very excited. We do need to do better, but again, we're 3 points down. It's the beginning of the season, so it'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So that is I watch hockey, and so should you.
Funny thing enough, you have been doing I Watch Hockey, and so should you for
years.
For much longer than I've been doing this one. So yeah, that's I'm very glad that you were able to beat the Blackhawks, whatever that means. I know they play in Chicago, so
yes,
so fuck those guys, and subsequently also Barack Obama. He can get it.
Oh, hey, look,
what?
I'm not the biggest Obama fan. It feels weird to say fuck Obama.
Yeah. I mean,
you said it, not me. So I guess.
And I think that's because I have been inadvertently watching a bunch of far leftist content. So that's kind of like what my quarantine awakening has been, which has been yours has been video games, which I imagine has a bit more spillover into the real world where you can talk to people. But I can't.
It's just far right content. That's where it. Did I tell you? I was watching a guy play video games on YouTube. He's famous. Markiplier, whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. Some fucking guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I was watching it, fell asleep, woke up. You know who was on my fucking screen? Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder playing video games. What the
hell?
I was because you hear about that, how like YouTube, if you just leave it running, it's gonna give you far right content, and he's alt light. All right, the guy's not. He doesn't have enough of a backbone to be alt right, but because he is also a fucking dork. But he is alt light, right?
Yeah.
And I wake up, I like fell asleep, and I woke up, and I was like, "What the fuck is Steven Crowder doing?" And I knew, and he was playing the same game, so I was like, "Oh, this was the next recommended video with Steven Crowder."
Oh my gosh!
Anyway,
that is cheese, Louise. That is super whack because you're never gonna fly down that hole and see H bomber guy.
yeah. ContraPoints is not gonna do a series. It's not gonna play Minecraft or whatever because she's got better shit to do.
Yeah, that's really funny.
But yeah, you had your leftist awakening, which is great. So you should watch that incels video of ContraPoints.
Yeah,
I'll just recommend it every week till you see it.
Yeah, I found my way into some ContraPoints content, but like I feel like and the thing that that leftists do that I just for real cannot stand is every single. I mean, this probably is the same way with far right content as well, but every politically minded video has to be 40 minutes to 2.5 hours long.
Every ContraPoints video is an hour and a half. Movie.
There is absolutely like I have to make a day of it. I have to absolutely be like, all right, I gotta sit down.
I'm watching a film.
Gotta sit down and watch this movie. And the things with ContraPoints, we're losing our entire audience. The thing about with ContraPoints
I'm sure there's some overlap where people look, if they don't, they should. Start with incels and Jordan Peterson. Those ones are funny. Eventually, you'll make it your way to opulence, which is great. Like, you'll get there, but it's good.
Mm-hmm. Anyway. The thing with ContraPoints is that her videos are so like involved and so theatrical that I can't just like put it in the background. Like, I have to be like aware of every single set change or every single like big thing that is happening. So
okay, but the equivalent or the opposite. Because she puts in the production value. At least it makes it worth it if you're watching an hour and a half long video called Beauty, right? Like, or like Cringe, and it's 2 hours, right? The difference is like Stephen Molyneux fucking droning on about his misunderstandings of the Roman Empire for like 5.5 hours, right? Like the other version is still an hour and a half, but it's just him in front of a slideshow being like, well, you know that they actually don't know what his. I don't remember what his voice sounds like.
Probably something like that.
Probably something like that. Does he have an accent? He's not American.
Who knows? Who knows?
I don't think Steve
really?
Molyneux is American. Anyway, he fucking sucks and is a total fucking again dork. Like absolute, just could not stop being embarrassing dork. But his videos are also an hour and a half long, and they're just boring. Whereas ContraPoints, at least it's like, or Lindsay Ellis, like, or H Bomber Guy, like they're all like. There's production or Philosophy Tube. There's production value. So it's like, okay, well, this is at least interesting to watch while I learn about whatever.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. It's the left will at least at the very least always have a flair for theater. So that is
that is exactly it.
That's how they get theater kid rejects like me to pop on over.
I think I got banned from First Social for my first time.
Oh, good. I'm proud of you.
I'm pretty sure. Well, my password stopped working, although I didn't get the your account was suspended message, so maybe I just fucked up the password.
Yeah, probably. There is a very specific message they send you. A brief backstory. There's a horrible website, and I got banned from it in 4 times over the course of like 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, see, what I fucked up, you weren't even doing anything. You just pissed off a mod. Like, you literally weren't even breaking the rules.
Yeah, picked the wrong fight is what I did.
Oh, me and that guy talk a lot. I have a lot of alt accounts. Anyway, the one that I think maybe got banned was TylerWebster.bot, which was literally just an AI bot I made that just makes fake tweets based on Tyler Webster tweets.
Yeah.
And it literally, that's what it's called. It's called TylerWebster.bot. I photoshopped a robot face onto his face. And it just says like a bot that does Tyler Webster tweets, and like that's all it does. And then I tried to log in again, and it was not working. And I'm like, yeah, I guess Tyler does not have a sense of humor about himself. That makes sense.
Inspired work, absolutely inspired work.
I'm gonna make a lot of bots. Well, see, I already have a gun girl bot that's like just imagine a gun girl like who's like or the gun girl. You know what I'm talking about, gun girl.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's Gun Girl, but it's a bot who just randomly generates different Gun Girl tweets. And I'll tell you, some of the mods think she's great. Oops. Anyway, but yeah. So I'm slowly. I'm gonna make a what is it called? Sigma male bot.
You got to
QAnon bot.
It's the new hot thing.
My here's the thing. I think my final goal with this website is to, because there's a leaderboard, because of course there is to be the entire leaderboard. I'm going to create so many fake accounts that just post so much that eventually the entire leaderboard is my bot army. And then I don't know.
Good luck. The website. You got a lot of competition. I've met and got banned by most of them. So
yeah. Oh, I got in a fight with that one old guy. I showed you that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then also the guy who's just a straight Nazi and is like the guy who's like
the white supremacy guy. Love him. Cannot get enough of that guy.
I said something about, I was quoting some source or something, and then I was like, because he was talking about this. I texted you about this, but I have a lot of patience for people, and I try to sort of meet them halfway, because most of these people I really do think are reachable. I think they're just being ground up by capitalism, and they're pointing their anger in the wrong direction. So I feel like I can reach you even if you are an insane bigot. But one, some people cannot be reached. The Nazi guy cannot be reached.
Yeah.
But the little treat that I give myself is I have no patience for people who say states' rights about the Civil War, who are like, oh, it was about like, grew up in Kentucky, which I know is not the South. I don't fucking care. Live in Tennessee, which, again, anyone who lives south of Tennessee will say is not the South. I don't fucking care. But the point being, I've met thousands of states' rights people who want to talk to me about how the Civil War wasn't about slavery. And my little treat to myself is I get to yell at them. Like, and nobody else, I'm like, okay, let's meet them halfway. Let's try to find some common ground. But states' rights people. So this dude is going on about how, like, the Rothschilds and the Jews fucking made the Civil War happen. And I was yelling at him and also sending him a bunch of quotes where the southern states were explicitly like, yeah, it's slavery. We want slavery. That's kind of our deal is slavery. Like, it's very explicit that they wanted slavery. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I was giving him shit. I was like, hey, and don't worry, none of the people I quoted are Jewish. I know you're really sensitive. I know that really triggers you when writers are Jewish. Don't worry, none of these people are.
Yeah, that is the absolute it is your magnum opus.
Maybe I don't. It's my treat. It's my treat that I get myself because I put up with everybody else's with their bullshit about everything else, and I just say like, okay, but it's like kids in cages and states' rights. I'm just like, nope, no patience. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I fucking can't do it on these ones. I just have to. I'm gonna yell at you, and maybe you'll never convert, and that's fucking fine. I can deal with that. I'll lose you, but I will not. Well, and by the end of the argument, the old guy, the old guy, he was like, oh yeah, I was saying that the North wasn't. And I was like, I know the North wasn't. We all know the North was fighting to restore the Union. We're all clear. And he was like, yeah, I mean, I agree. Totally. I mean, yeah, I just didn't. Anyway, I won an argument online and I was really happy about it.
No, well, quarantine has marked the bar for some of us. And
it's really bad.
Yeah. Winning an argument online with someone who is, has beliefs that are so abhorrent that it is definitely a win in the eyes of on the internet.
Oh, the white civil rights guy just bowed out. He just gave up. It was the old guy who kept arguing with me, and I was just like, no, I'm right, and I know it. Here, listen. Here's a clip from the Cornerstone speech. Would you like to read that? Like, no, I'm right, and I'm not fucking around with this one. All right. Anyway.
Really good. Anyway, that's our show. Thank you all so much for coming to Get Better. If you want to find us, you can find us on Instagram at Get Better Podcast. That's get_better_podcast. You can also reach us at meetthefockers2, fockedup@gmail.com. And you can find us on our YouTube channel, which is just YouTube, and you can search Get Better Podcast, where you can find our full episodes as well as little snippets that you can send around. And that's all the places you can find us. We keep joking around about this Patreon. Maybe one day we'll finally get around to it, but until then, that's all we got. So,
all right.
See you, bye forever.